Hello all, I am Companion Wolf. I'm doing this quick video to announce the BAKIN Halloween 2024 Game Jam, hosted by me. So welcome to the jam. The dates for the Halloween 2024 Game Jam runs from 16th of September to the 30th of October. The judging period will take place from 1st of November to 10th of November, and the winner will be announced shortly thereafter, which may be extended depending on the number of submissions. As you can see, there are 7 who have joined already, myself included. So the intro is, Halloween is just around the corner again, and that means a game jam. Traditionally, Halloween is associated with ghosts, monsters and all things spooky, but there is another side to Halloween, the spiritualistic aspect. This year is a time often associated with death, where the wall between the physical and spiritual worlds are thinnest. So it's a great time for remembering and respecting those who have passed away, or as a reminder of those closest to you who are no longer with you, or as a time of introspection and reflection. So the theme for this game jam, therefore, is the afterlife. The game jam is open to all participants, both new and veteran developers who have RPG developer BAKIN. Some ideas for the theme associated with the afterlife could be the following: the cycle of death and rebirth. Is death the end or the beginning of a new cycle? Some cultures believe in reincarnation, so perhaps the hero dies and comes back in another form. Life after death. What happens after death? There are plenty of interpretations from Norse mythology. Heroes travel to Odin's hall, Valhalla, or the meadows of Folkvang. What happens afterwards? There are plenty of interpretations to this. Norse mythology, the heroes travel to Odin's resplendent halls of Valhalla, or the meadows of Folkvanger, ruled by the goddess Freya. To movies like Beetlejuice, my ultimate favourite movie of all time, or Ghost. What's your interpretation of this? Losing a loved one, which could be a personal journey after losing a loved one and dealing with the after effects. Perhaps this could be a psychological thriller going through the stages of grief or not being able to move on after a major loss. The Rising Dead, yes, zombies. Perhaps the trope of a post-virus zombies appeals to you, or some evil necromancer raises the dead for whatever dark reason. In the Shadows, you could have a horror game exploring the darker emotions and aspects of the psyche, or things that lurk within the darkness. You are free to interpret this however you want, provided that there's some kind of theme with the afterlife. There are 6 rules for submission and participation. They must be games only created with RPG developer BAKIN. Disqualifier would be things that are not made with RPG developer BAKIN. I've noticed that in the past, and also games submitted to Amalgam Ash's game jams, clearly not made with BAKIN, and they will be disqualified. Submissions must be original games created for the jam itself, and must not be published elsewhere, although there is an exception to the rule which I'll come to shortly. You must either own or have permission to use all of the assets in your game, like all of the assets that come with BAKIN, the official DLCs, any customized assets that you make. Third-party assets you must have the permission or license to use them. Games using copyrighted materials will be disqualified. Music and sound must be allowed to be played on YouTube. The tracks must won't require any additional ones, like the CC0 or the royalty free, or even the ones that are allowed just with a little copyright notice. Your submission must be free and available to download and play, but you can submit free demos with the intention of creating a paid game after the jam. You agree that the game will be showcased on YouTube after the jam is over. I and possibly others will upload the videos on YouTube, or maybe I'll live stream them like I did with the Smile Game Builder one, but I'm not sure how that's going. Do not use AI to create images or sounds or background music. Now, I'm fairly neutral when it comes to AI generated music in particular, to a degree, but in fairness to those who don't agree with using AI, in this game jam it's not allowed. If something is clearly AI generated, then they won't be eligible. There are ways of checking. The judgment will be conducted by a panel of judges. I have yet to properly determine that. So far, Ash and I, but I'll be reaching out in Discord to see if anybody else wants to become a judge. The winner will be decided based on several criteria: the game design, how well the overall game is designed and thought out, including any systems it has in place. The narrative and plot is important as well: how well written the plot is, how engaging its storyline is, or its narrative, how interesting the game is to play, the theme presence, how close to the game jam's theme the game jam is. The topic doesn't really matter as long as its focus is something to do with the afterlife or life after death or anything like that in some form or another. Now, I didn't have any plans for prizes at this time, aside from the recognition and winning and participation, of course, and just, for the sheer challenge of submitting a game to a game jam, because I wanted to make it this time just for fun, and also to try to encourage people to push RPG developer BAKIN to its limits. But having said that, 8 pancakes for lunch. It did reach out to me in DM and offered 10 Steam gift cards for the top 3 submissions, which was very kind of him. So on the back of that, I decided, right, all of the participants will receive a unique model, and the winner will receive a gold variation. You can use that however they want. The frequency asked questions: can I submit unpublished games? Yes, although I do encourage new games for the game jam. If a game has not been published anywhere else at all or submitted to any other game jams, you can submit to the jam. Games do not need to be completed. They can be demos, proof of concepts, unfinished, or even just shorts. But if you do submit a complete game, kudos to you. I have not been able to submit a complete game for every single one of the ones that I have participated in. Games must be submitted in English only. You can use translation methods as long as the result is in English. That's fine, as long as we can read it. I only speak 3 languages, with English being my native and most fluent tongue. Group submissions and collaborations are allowed, and they're encouraged. Sometimes, that's a good idea, because if, say, somebody can create models and somebody can create sounds and another person can create the gameplay itself, then that's probably a better way of doing it. And also, each person within that collaboration can also submit their own game if they wanted to. Third-party assets, you must have permission to use them. Read the terms for each asset where explicit permissions and license terms of use should be given. Your safest bet is to use anything by the CC0, CC BY or MIT licenses, because you're not going to have any copyright issues with that. But if you're not sure, then ask me or somebody else in Discord. And that is it for it. So click that submit your project and let's get going. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Until the next time.